This is the Louie T Network. The journey is long, and nobody said it was going to be easy. But all we've got is us. All that believe is us. The Redskins Report.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskins brethren and sisters. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Luke. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. Don't you just love it when a well-executed plan comes together? This free agency period for the Redskins has been lovely. We've done all of the things that we've set out to do, and I basically put together a checklist of things that needed to be accomplished pre-draft. I talked about setting the defensive line up so that we didn't need to attack that at number 5 with Danny Shelton. Check. I talked about not wanting to have to draft Trey Wayans by going out and addressing the cornerback situation. About to talk about that here in a second. Check. Only thing left, only box left unchecked at this point is safety. I'll talk about that in a second, but let's get to the reason why we're here. Redskins signed Chris Culliver away from the San Francisco 49ers. He is the newest Washington Redskin, 4-year deal worth up to $32 million. So you're talking about 8 per for a guy that played some exceptional football for the 49ers throughout the course of his career. He did sustain one big-time injury in 2013 towards ACL, did come back last year and have a solid campaign. And so this is a guy that I'm very excited about, makes plays on the football, will make quarterbacks pay for mistakes around him. And so he's a guy in the prime of his career at 26. Again, another sign that the Redskins get it under Scot McCloughan. We're not going out and getting aging veterans. We're getting guys in the prime of their careers at 26 years old. This guy has a ton of football left in front of him. Does have a little bit of a checkered past and has a pending hit and run case out there, so he may be suspended by the league down the road. Again, he's not a troublemaker. He's not a guy that's going to do a lot of things that's going to affect this team negatively. He did have that comment in the Super Bowl, if you recall, about gay players in the locker room and how he didn't want to be around that. And so he had to go to sensitivity training and all of that stuff. Probably learned his lesson from there. I mean, he probably doesn't feel any different about it, but he just knows he's got to keep his mouth shut. So at the end of the day, we got ourselves a good football player. And so I feel really, really strong about what we've done in free agency. And I said this the last time we met. I talked about I was going to be back soon. Did I not say that? I said I expected us to do something in the cornerback or safety market. We did that. And I told you, I could care less about which one of the 49ers boys it was. I just wanted one of them, and we went out and made it happen by signing Chris Culliver. So I feel really good about what we've done in the secondary now. We've got a strong secondary. I feel like if we can just get one of these guys, whether it's D. Hall, Tracy Porter, if he stays on the roster, if the Redskins don't decide to cut him, or if we can get David Emerson to show up and play good football, we'll be fine at corner. Because you know how I feel about the young fella, Vitamin B. You know how I feel about Vitamin B. You add Chris Culliver to the mix, I feel like we got a really good starting tandem of corners. Now you're just looking to fill up that slot and get some help at safety. Speaking of which, let's talk about the safety position. I'm a little upset that we weren't able to get Ron Parker. He re-signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. I really at least wanted him to come to Washington. I wanted them to have have interest in him and them sit down and maybe see if they could talk numbers, but it never came to fruition. To me, he's a poor man's Devin McCourty. I would have loved to have seen him in a Redskin uniform. Not going to happen. He's back with Kansas City. There's no more Raheem Moore. He signed up with the Texans. There was never a chance at Devin McCourty, despite what many thought, would be a Redskin team taking a run at him. I don't think he ever would have been entertained coming to Washington, but he's gone off the market. There are not a lot of great safety options left if you're looking for young and good football players. You're probably going to have to go to the bottom of the rung, the bottom of the barrel now if you're looking for some safety help, and we need some. We can't go into the draft, which is a weak draft class at safety, expecting to find a savior. It's just not going to happen. So they did say Jerron Johnson, backup safety from the Seattle Seahawks, might still be an option. But again, you can't get me to get excited about a backup safety, coming over and potentially starting for us. So we'll see. Even if we don't get anything now, there are going to be more releases down the line. June 1 is always a big time for veterans to be cut. That's when contracts and things are starting to be guaranteed unless you get rid of guys, or sometimes you need to hold on to them until that June 1 period before you can recoup your money. So we'll see some guys come off the rosters. Then maybe there'll be a wave of safeties that come and shake free, and maybe we'll be able to get one of those guys. Deshaun Bolton is a name that keeps popping up in Tampa Bay as a guy that may be released. I don't think I really want to mess with him, and he's got a track record for getting, hits that get flags, and he's getting suspended. We went down that road, right? I mean, we've done that already with Brandon Merriweather. Do we want to do that again? I don't think that's really something that we want as Redskins fans, to be relying on a guy that could be suspended 1 week, back the next, and then suspended for 4 games. We don't want to do that. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens at safety. I feel really good. You're not going to make me feel bad about what we've done in free agency to shore up the defensive line the way we have, and to go out and get the help at corner the way we have done. Now I feel like it's a no-brainer what we should do at 5. It's a question of who's your cup of tea, what's your flavor at 5. To me, you get the rush outside linebacker, the guy that can get to the quarterback, and then you move on. And I think we're going to do a video on that, and I'll tell you what I want to do and what we should do at 5. I want to hear your input, but that's it in a nutshell. I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskin spirit will never die. My Redskin spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Washington Redskins. We're doing an excellent job in free agency. Let's come back and talk about what we should do at pick number 5. I'll see you next time.
There's plenty more where that came from. While you're here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more Louie T, be sure to follow me on Twitter at In the Lab Room, or you can like the Facebook page at In the Lab Room. That's In the Lab Room on Facebook and at In the Lab Room on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. The Redskins Report.